Hi, I'm Jamie. Thanks for joining me for this video on the Nocatee market update for July 2023. Let's get into it. So as you can see, each month we get the previous month's numbers in. So it's the same thing for every single video on these market updates. So that's why you're going to see June up here. It is not a mistake. Let's start off with sales price, and we have it broken down by property type. So our overall median sales price for Nocatee is at $729. And then for single family homes, we're showing $755, a little under $756. Townhouses at $519 and condos at $420. If you notice some gaps in some of those sales price information, it's because there were no closings to extract the data from. So the reason we don't look at the weekly data that's provided to us is because if there's not enough of a sample size, you're not going to get a really good, figure on what the market's actually doing. So if I were to look at the median sales price for last week for Nocatee, I believe it was like $555, but there were only 10 sales last week. So just those 10 sales can bring the number drastically up or drastically down. So that's why we look at the market numbers for a whole month instead of just on a weekly basis. We can definitely look at a weekly basis for, entirety of Northeast Florida, but when we're doing it this specific, you definitely don't want to do that. And then when you get into subdivisions, it can be even more granular. So if you want to know about the market information for 20 Mile Lakeside, like a specific subdivision, you should probably set up a consultation with, one of our team members, and they can go over, what those specific numbers look like. So keep these numbers in mind. If you are buying or selling, these are what your median, sales price numbers are going to look like. Our next item is closed sales. So Nocatee, if you don't live in Nocatee, you may not know this, but if you do live in Nocatee, there's not a lot of townhomes and there's not a lot of condos. So most of our sales are going to be in single family. Now, keep in mind that this number as an overall trend may look like it's going down. May look like it's bad news. Keep in mind that this is also inventory related. If there's not enough homes for sale, you're not going to see a lot of homes sold. So in June, you had 54 single family homes sell, and let's come down here to new listings for June. So there were 86. So you had 54 new closings and 86 new listings, right? So you do see inventory going up. It looks like it's a 20% jump, but again, from 73 to 86, because it's not a big number, it's gonna, have a more dramatic percentage. For townhomes, you're showing 10 new listings, and for condos, you're showing 4 new listings. If we were to narrow this down for 55 plus, the numbers are going to be even lower. So if you are looking in that market, again, get with one of our team members and then they can go over what those numbers look like for, that specific type of property. So with 86 homes going on the market, that's not a lot. You had a peak here at 112 new listings in June of 2020. Right, so 3 years ago, nobody was talking about a crash, and then our inventory went, down to 40, which we kind of matched those numbers in February of this year. Okay, let's come back up to our sold price per square foot. Again, if you're selling, you're really going to want to look at the average. This is a median sold price per square foot, right? So you're not getting the full picture of your subdivision. If I'm pricing a house, investment, listing, whatever, I'm not going to use the median sold price per square foot. I'm going to use the average, right? But this is a good gauge to kind of see where homes are selling. You've got a median here at 321 for single family homes, and overall you're sitting at about 314. And we can see that the condos and townhouses are bringing that number down. Again, sample size. Percentage of list price received. So let's look at our single family homes are at 99% of list price received. So if you're a seller in this market, you can expect that 99%. And if you're a buyer in this market, I know that the news might be telling you everything's coming down. From a median standpoint, you're hitting that 99%. If you're trying to lowball these sellers, they have no reason to take it. Condos and townhouses, bring that number down. 97% is about your normal, I would say middle of the road. Because even in a down market, prices come down and educated agents and brokers know where to put those where to price them. And in any market, homes are going to sell. If you price something really, really low, it'll go into multiple offers and go over list price, right? And so it keeps that number steady and, usually in the 90s. So let's look at our days on market. So for townhouses, you have almost 6 months of marketing time in order to sell one of these properties. Again, days on market, I don't really love to use the median. I want to go with the average, and I want to go into a very, very specific pocket if you are listing a property, right? So I wouldn't take this to mean that all of them are going to take 154 days or 6 months. Look into what your specific subdivision is doing. Condos, 118 days, and then single family homes are at 33. And because there's a lot more of them, right? And I know we're looking at the median of 35 days, it's able to bring that number down from that 154 and that 118 because it is based on units. Let's see how our active inventory is doing. So we do see that it's growing. Active inventory, 126. We did see before that there were about 56 closed sales. So depending on what metric you're comparing it to, it can be good or bad, but let's look at what it actually looks like from a supply of inventory standpoint. This isn't my favorite model only because it's based on 12 months, a rolling 12 months, which if the market dynamics change very quickly, it can change the overall picture without you kind of knowing where you are. So all of these are at about the same point here. So you can see single family homes are at 2.3 months of inventory, townhouses are at 2.7, and condos are at 3. We know that the condo and townhome inventory is very, very low to begin with. But this blue bar, basically between 5 and 7, is showing you what industry standard is for a balanced market. So anything below that is a seller's market. Anything above that is a buyer's market. In this case, we've been very low for a very long time. National statistics show that we're, I think, around 4 million homes shy of bringing our affordability numbers, back up or back down, depending on what kind of chart you're looking at, but making homes more affordable. So we're probably going to kind of live in this space. Well-priced property, usually going to sell pretty quickly, close to list price if you're priced well, right? If you list it at double of what the value is going to be, you're not going to get that number. Let's look at our pending sales. So new pending sales are up. So take that 120 number for active inventory. We just had 54 homes close in Nocatee, and then now we have 53 new pendings in June, right? And that's for single family homes. So that kind of shows you the inventory situation in Nocatee. So 60 overall. So 5 and 2 for condos and townhomes, not very many. We already looked at our new listing number. Percentage of distressed listings is 0. There are no distressed listings in Nocatee. Overall, for Northeast Florida, the number is less than 1%. So I know there's some reports out there that are, waiting for some sort of Airbnb crash or something. But if those list pendants have happened and they're gonna go into foreclosure, they haven't been recorded yet, right? And yeah, this is based on MLS, but you would assume that there's some of this inventory coming to market, and we just haven't seen it anywhere. So let's look at percentage of cash sales. So I'm going to turn the breakout off because in this case it's not extremely important, but I am going to do a price distribution on it so that you can see where those homes are being purchased in cash. So about 30% of your home sales in Nocatee are being sold cash, no mortgage, just straight cash. Price distribution, this is interesting because if you look at Northeast Florida as a whole, you can see a very defined bell curve where at the front of the chart, under 200,000, a lot of those, I would say 30 to maybe 40% of those are, maybe up to 50% are selling all cash. And then on the other end of, 1.5 million plus, a lot of those are selling. What you're seeing in Nocatee is not a super well-defined bell curve because you've got your entry-level home or property for Nocatee is $400 to $499, right? We don't even have a 0 to 400 area for Nocatee. So you've got 500 to 599. Almost 60% of the sales in that price point are closing cash, right? So, and then over 1.5 million, 50% of those homes are selling for cash too. Keep in mind, this does not include all of the builder inventory. It includes most of it that they do put, on the MLS, because the main data source for this information is the Northeast Florida MLS. Keep in mind that with some of the numbers that you're seeing as far as percentage of list price, what this doesn't show you is the amount of concessions that each neighborhood or each price point is giving up in order to achieve that list price. We are seeing a lot of that happen on the building side, on the retail side, where they are giving concessions to help buy down those points, whether it's a 3-2-1 buy down, 2-1 buy down, or just buying down the loan with points for the life of the loan. If you do need some real estate help, please reach out to our team. One of our team members would absolutely love to help. I hope that this analysis was helpful, whether you're looking to buy or sell, and I'll see you on the next one.